Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Atlas's brand new YouTube channel. Thank you so much for all of your kind words in my first video. It was not exactly the best work out there on YouTube, but I felt like it did get the message across, and I really appreciate so many kind comments and suggestions for where we want the channel to go. I am going to be definitely doing a lot of the suggestions that you guys made. Tier list 1 is very scary. That might happen as 1.2 gets closer and when it drops, because it might change a few things as to the power level of some of the characters, and we'll be able to look at it then and there. But I wanted to sort of go back to the beginning in this video. I didn't want to make my first video some sort of tutorial about something, because you guys don't necessarily know where I stand when it comes to Genshin Impact. So this could be good if you haven't played the game yet and were thinking about it, but could also help add some perspective if you're now in amongst the late game grind. You know, the AR40 range is definitely when content does start to run out, don't have as many quests to do, things like that, and it can feel a little bit arduous getting from, you know, one level to the next to try and unlock that next thing that you're going for. And I really would like to sort of try and dispel some of the anger and aggression that you do see around the internet based on how people are feeling at the higher levels, and the complaining and the content loop, and what feels like a lot of grinding in order to get to that next level, in order to reach for that carrot one more time. So yeah, without further ado, let's get my thoughts on Genshin Impact and where it is after just a few months out in the wild. Okay, let's start with mechanics, shall we? Let's talk about what they sort of do to keep us in the game and keep us wanting more. I think that that's the main thing about how a game is supposed to be played, because it's a game, right? And you need to have something that's going to make you come back and keep playing it. Something that's interesting, something that's fun. And I think the mechanics in this game are really, really interesting. Yes, it looks a bit basic on the outset, and I think that that's actually really, really smart, because you load into the game, you realize that left click doesn't auto attack, you can dash with your right click, and you're like, woohoo, this is great. So it's very, very simple. However, if you go in depth into what the abilities do when you use them in conjunction with other characters, then it becomes very, very interesting, and that's where sort of the depth lies. So I've done a couple of examples using the poor little Cryo Regisvine as an example. It's world level 7, so the guy's actually pretty beefy. But that's okay. It worked out very, very well for my demonstration, because we're going to be starting off with just one character. He's definitely the strongest character that I have. He's got a lot of really cool artifacts. He's got a cool weapon, and he's level 90 with a level 90 weapon. Of course, talking about my Diluc, as you can see on the screen. And as you can also see, I absolutely failed at taking this guy down the first couple of times. His good old Cryo Regisvine is a tough cookie to crack, right? And I just thought that I could one-shot it, to be perfectly honest, because that's what I normally do. And that's because you can utilize elemental reactions in order to make it easier. So let's bring up that clip after can we just prove that I did it? Perfect. Okay, nailed it. We did it, and he's dead. So it's fine. I did manage to solo it. But let's have a look at how much easier that is if we have other characters to boost our damage. It is actually pretty ludicrous when you utilize utility and support that can add extra elemental reactions, that can add extra damage, and can bolster your team compositions into something that is really, really cool and does a lot of work. In video games, I get very, very excited about being able to min-max, maximize my output, understand the game to a level that I can abuse it and abuse the mechanics in it in order to become ridiculously strong. I've done this with almost every single RPG that I've played since I was about 7. I think it probably started with Pokemon, and then there was Golden Sun, then there was a lot of Final Fantasy games. More recently, there was Final Fantasy 12, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have a lot of fun understanding the mechanics and abusing them, And this game is no exception to that one. This game has a lot of depth when it comes to the mechanics of it. It can help you farm your domains faster. It can help you clear more difficult content to get those juicy primogems at the end of the Abyss when it resets every couple of weeks. And I think that is what drives you to get stronger, to get better, and to understand more about what can make you strong. Because yes, this is a gacha game. You can spend money, you can get more power. However, if you can't utilize it, as you saw in my Diluc video, you're still gonna fail. It's just the way it goes. And I think that is definitely a great part of Genshin Impact, because you can outthink it rather than just over-invest into it. And that's really, really cool. I think that's what takes it away from what a lot of people have been describing as predatory, and puts it more into, you can spend money if you want to, you can collect the characters if you want to, but if you just want to play the game, if you just like the game, it's still going to be interesting and it will still be rewarding. So that's enough about mechanics. TLDR is, they're fun, and a video game needs to be fun to play. That's the best thing about it. There can be all the rewards that you want, however, getting them has to be enjoyable, and Genshin Impact manages to do that. And I hope that I didn't waffle too much when I was trying to explain just that point. The other thing that Genshin Impact does absolutely beautifully is the environment. The game is just beautiful. And not only that, but it's the sense of exploration, and I think we can all understand that that is something that we've been craving. 2020 certainly has been a pretty cooped up year for the majority of us, and I think a game like this is the perfect example of finding that freedom that we've all been lacking. This has been something that I think a lot of people have enjoyed for a really long time. It was why Breath of the Wild was so damn amazing when it first came out, because you saw that mountain in the distance and you were like, oh, I can go there? And then you go there. Sometimes there's nothing up there, but still damn cool. Genshin Impact is another perfect example of that, except when you get to the top of the mountain, inevitably there's going to be a chest or a puzzle, because they're just everywhere. I've cleared all of them, so there's not going to be any examples in this footage. However, it's exactly the same thing. See mountain, go to mountain, and get the rewards. It always finds some way of rewarding you, whether it's going to be a Geoculus up there, an Anemoculus, whatever it is. And I love that the player's creativity is being, or not creativity, but the player's joy for exploration is rewarded in this game. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. Not only that, you could be looking over a glorious vista and then you get shot in the back by a baddie, and then you get to go and fight the baddie, and then we get to go back to all those cool, fun mechanics that we were talking about before. You can take a bit of a time out from your tour, and you can just go and beat the heck out of some, I don't know, whopper flowers, or whatever it is. Maybe spend some time with the slime. But that's the beauty of it. It's this complete freedom. However, it gives you that direction because you want to be building your characters, you want to be driving towards that end game, and you want to be able to get as strong as you can so that when content comes out, you'll be able to be in the best position to take it on and take it down. And that brings me to my final point before we end the video, because inevitably this is going to get way too long, and that is, this game is going to be ever growing. You can see if you open up the map, if you've got the game, you open up the map and there are a lot of these areas that you can't go to, they will most likely be opened in the future. And gacha games are ever growing. They just continue expanding, and we can expect so much more content in the future because they want you coming back and they want you to get all of the new characters and all that stuff, and that works out fantastically well for us because that just means that there's a constant content stream. And when I hear complaints about the endgame, well, that's only a complaint that's going to last for about a month until the next place is going to be opened. You know, 1.2 is coming out very soon. We're going to have Dragonspine to explore. We're going to have all of these extra chests to open, and that's just going to keep on happening over and over again. And I think the depth to this game is going to be really, really exciting to keep track of. Of course, that's all speculation. But if we can take, you know, even MiHoYo's other game, Honkai Impact, like that game's come a very, very long way as well, although I have not played it. It's been around for 6-7 years, and the game has expanded a very, very long way with a lot of extra content and extra mechanics being added in. And theoretically, we could suppose that Genshin Impact is going to be similar. And we've already seen all of the extra characters that have been sort of introduced to us or teased to us. Scaramouche, certainly an example of that, and he's likely going to be a character that we can play in the future as well. So, Genshin Impact, bright future. Don't need to worry too much about not having content because it'll be right around the corner. And that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know this was a little bit waffly, but I hope you guys understand why I really enjoy Genshin Impact, why I've been playing it so much, and why we shouldn't be too worried about an end game that might seem repetitive now, because the game is going to keep expanding and keep growing over time, and we can just keep having fun with these really cool mechanics and trying to understand exactly how best to abuse them for our benefit with whichever characters that we may have. So thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you in the next video, and make sure that you leave a comment and let me know what you want to see next. Do you want to see more of my characters? Do you want to understand more about how the game works? Do you want more Genshin Impact content? Do you just want League of Legends content? I'm not entirely sure. I actually would prefer to do some Genshin content at this point in time, and then when we're closer to the LCK starting, maybe we'll delve into some League of Legends there. But leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell if you're brave, and I'll see you in the next video.